What if the very thing you have been praying for is the thing that is slowly and quietly destroying your life? I want you to sit with that for a second. Not skim past it, just sit with it. Here's the deal. Some of you listening right now, you may have gotten a promotion, you hit the revenue number, you built the thing you said you build, and somewhere along the way in that moment, you cannot even pinpoint. You look up and you didn't even recognize your own house anymore. Your wife's not looking at you in the same way that she used to when you first were married. Your kids ask Alexa questions before they actually ask you, and you're the most successful you've ever been on paper, and the most alone you've ever felt in your own home. This episode is for you today. Maybe it's that man. Maybe it's you. Welcome back to Live to Thrive. My name is Michael Hicks, and today we're going to talk about something I don't think gets said enough in men's spaces, especially with faith-driven, high-performing men spaces. We talk a lot about building. We talk a lot about grinding. We talk a lot about scaling and winning. Men love to win. Nobody ever talks about winning, how winning can actually cost you if you're not paying the right and correct attention. So let's get into it a little bit here. Here's the lie, and I believe it for years now. If I win at work, everything else falls into place. If I provide well enough and my marriage will be fine, yet something impressive enough and your kids will maybe still respect you. You hit a big number, maybe it's a big enough number, and the emptiness you feel on Sunday nights will finally shut up, right? And that's not a lie. Actually, that is a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And I say that as someone who's actually lived inside it, because success without purpose doesn't fill you. In fact, it just gives you a nicer container to be empty in. You have the title, you may have the income, you have the Instagram worthy life, the reels, right? All that stuff, and you still lay in bed next to your wife at night feeling like maybe two strangers because you're aimlessly scrolling on your phones, yet you happen to share the same mortgage. Now, I want to be really clear about something. This episode isn't about hating ambition. God is not, how can I say this, anti-success. In fact, Proverbs is full of men who have worked with their whole hand and prospered because of it. And now this isn't quit your job and go live in a cabin message. This message today is really, what is the success actually for message? Because here's what I've watched happen with clients, with friends, and if I'm being mere honest, to me, men chase a level of success they think will finally make them feel like they are enough. And when they get there, you know what happens? The goalposts move. There's always a bigger deal. There's another deadline. And then the bigger title, a bigger number, and then the family that was supposed to benefit from all this whining becomes the thing quietly paying the tax for it. I just got off of a clarity call today. In fact, the man that I was talking about, very successful. However, most of his life is consumed with his job and the energy. He doesn't even have time to even play Legos with his kiddos at home. And that right there is a scary, scary moment. Like, what are you doing? What did your wife say or not say? What did your kid do that stopped you cold? And what time of night did this happen? And was there a particular drive home or a particular missed dinner or a particular argument that revealed the truth that you are winning the wrong game? Give that some thought. And that moment should change how you live your life and maybe define success, because it did for me. Because not because success is bad. And here's the thing, I had let the wrong thing keep score in my life. Now, your family will always remember your presence, not your paycheck. So let me say something to you out there that maybe be uncomfortable. If your kids had to describe you in one sentence right now, not the version you hope them that they would give, the actual honest version, what would they say about you? Would they say, my dad works hard for us, or would they say, my dad is here? They're not the same sentences, y'all. Here's the truth. That took me a long time to accept this. Nobody at the end of their life remembers the guy who provided great lifestyle, yet was never in the room. They remember the guy who showed up, who sat on the floor and played the dumb game, which may be good, bad, and different, for the third time in a week, who bought squishies, who had a whole conversation about what they are, who asked follow-up questions, who actually noticed. Your family is not going to keep a ledger of your income. They're keeping a ledger of your attention, men. And attention is the one thing that success at work is designed to consume. And that's not on accident. It's the nature of ambition. It asks for more of you, like more hours, moving the goalposts, more headspace, more of the best energy before your family ever gets a little bit of you. So by the time you walk in the door, they're not getting the sharpest version of you. You know what they're getting? They're getting what's left over. That's the trade nobody warns you about, though. You know, you don't lose your family in one dramatic moment. You lose from one distracted dinner at a time. One phone check during bedtime prayers at a time. One, not right now, buddy at a time moment. And here's the part that should sting just a little bit. Your family is going to forgive almost anything except for you being invisible. They can handle a hard season, what I call a hard training season. They can handle you being stretched thin for a short amount of time. What breaks something in them is feeling like they're competing with your job for a version of you that never, ever shows up. And God never called you to build a business or a career or a ministry or anything else and lose yourself and lose them in the process. He called you to build something that includes them, not something you build so hard you have nothing left to bring home. Not at all. Now, I want to talk about the CEO at work should also be the CEO at home. Now, here's where I want to refine something, because I think a lot of men have this backwards. You already know how to lead. You do it every day at work. You set a vision. You make hard calls. You hold people accountable. You show up prepared, and you don't wing it in the boardroom. You never walk into a client meeting without a plan, right? You ready for this one? I hope you are. So why do so many of us walk into our homes with no plan at all? This is the whole heartbeat of what I teach at Live to Thrive. You are the CEO of the home, not the dictator, not the boss barking out orders to your family. A CEO, the way the best CEOs actually lead is they lead with vision, with presence, with intentionality, with humility. And you know what most importantly they do? They listen to their team. Now, think about what a good CEO does. A good CEO doesn't just show up to collect a paycheck and disappear. A good CEO knows the state of the business, knows where things are really well or strong. They also know where things are maybe laxed or strained, and they have check-ins. They ask questions. It builds culture on purpose instead of it doing it by accident. So now ask yourself, do you know the state of your home? Or the way you know the state of your business? Or are they completely different? Do you know what your wife is actually carrying right now? You work all day, provide for your family, and then when you get home, your wife has a different agenda. She's sitting at home all day with the kids, and you're exhausted. Do you know the real weight that she's under? Do you know what your kids are struggling with socially, emotionally, spiritually, right now in this particular moment or even this month? Or are you leading your household the way a distracted, absent CEO leads a company? From a distance. Reactivity. Only stepping in when there's a crisis. Here's the truth, y'all. You're already leading in somewhere, somehow. The question is whether you're leading your home on purpose or just letting it run with autopilot while you pour your best leadership in a place that isn't your family. Here's what being the CEO of your home actually means. You set the vision for your family's identity and direction, not just its schedule. You present enough to notice when something's off because it becomes a crisis. Just had this happen. Me personally, with my wife. I knew something was off. I asked, sometimes they don't tell you right away. You got to ask in different directions. It finally came out. We prayed about it. Do you lead your marriage with the same intentionality you bring to a major account that you have at work? Do you measure success at home the same way you measure it at work? With real metrics, not vibes, connection, presence, peace, growth. That's the standard, y'all. And it's never perfection. It's intentionality. So if this kind of resonated with you so far, I'm going to give you 3 steps that you can snap out of it right away. These shifts will reclaim your priorities immediately. So if you're jotting notes, now's the best time to do that. So let's make it practical. I never want you to leave with just a feeling. I want you to leave with a next step, a actionable shift that will change this if it's implemented. Not a 10-step system, y'all, that you're going to abandon in 2 weeks. Just 3 shifts that you can begin today. Here's the first one. Refine, or I should say, redefine about what winning means before you walk into the door. Okay? So most of us walk into our house still carrying the scoreboard from work. The tension, the stress, the pressure. Did I get the deal close? This new project that I got on, did the numbers hit? The scoreboard has no business following you at home. You have to shut it down. Before you walk through that door, I want you to ask yourself this one particular question. What does winning look like for the next 2 hours when I'm at home? Maybe winning tonight is just about being fully present at dinner. No phones, nothing. Maybe it's one real conversation you're going to have with your wife when you're not on your phone, you're not doom scrolling, you're not binging on the TV, you're not having your hand in the popcorn or eating the potato chips. A redefined moment where you win before you enter in the room. The old scoreboard will run the show by default if that's not changed. The second shift, here it is. Write this down. Schedule your family the way you schedule your business. Yeah, I said it. You never leave a major client relationship to chance. You got a plan. You have a cadence. You have a check-in. You have a follow-through. Your marriage needs a weekly check-in. Your kids need dedicated one-on-one time that's actually on the calendar, not just whenever there's time left over. In fact, as soon as I'm done with this episode, taking my daughter, we're going to go grab something to eat, go check something out at Walgreens. I got to get some pictures there. But if it's not scheduled in the season of life, you know what's going to happen? It will lose to whatever's urgent. So put it on your calendar like it's a boardroom meeting. And honestly, be mere honest here. It's more important than any board meeting that you're ever going to have. Ever. Third shift. Lead your home from identity, not performance. And friends, this is one of the biggest shifts. This is one of the biggest, deepest shift, and it's the one that actually sustains the other 2. As long as your identity is rooted in what you produce, listen to me here, your title, your revenue, your next win, You will always unconsciously prioritize the place that feeds that identity, which is what, men? It's work. However, when your identity is rooted in who God says you are, you're a son first, before you ever are a provider or a producer. You stop needing work to validate you. And then work stops being the place you go to feel like you're enough. I just had this clarity call with this client. You finally feel free to be fully present in the place that actually needs you the most. That's the real reclaiming. And it's not a time management hack. It's what I call an identity hack or an identity shift. So, I hope that you are taking some quality notes in this session, because this part here will change your life. It's the momentum that you need to get through this piece. All right. So here's what I want to leave with you today. Yes, this is a short segment, but it's a very powerful segment. Success was never supposed to be the finish line. It's supposed to be the fuel for a bigger mission than yourself. A mission that includes the people God put in your house. You can win at work and still be losing where it matters most. And that's not hypothetical. That's the quiet reality of a lot of you men listening to this podcast right now. I got good news for you. It's not too late, though. It's not. You can create that change if you want to. And here's the reality. It's never too late to become the CEO of your home. Not just the CEO of your career. So here's your assignment for this week. You ready for this? Pick one of the 3 shifts that I just talked about. Just one. And put it into action before Sunday. Don't wait until you feel ready. Redefine the win before you walk in the door tonight. And before I go, I need you to do something for me right now. Think of one man right now that when you heard this, you're like, wow, this could really change or shift someone's life right now. Maybe one man who's absolutely crushing it professionally. However, he had a conversation with you. They're struggling at home. The guy everyone looks at and says he's got it all figured out, yet you know, or maybe you suspect or that personally he's losing. He's stretching himself thin. He's disconnected from his family. He's winning the wrong game. Just send him this episode. Not with a long message. Just with like, hey, I think I found this. This one's for you. Here's the thing. Sometimes someone can do the most loving thing for us. And if you want to do the most loving thing you can do for a man, like it's not luxury. Men don't like luxuries. Just give him a mirror. This is what I'm giving to you right now. Hand it to him. You care. And because you care enough to send it, that will produce a change or maybe a ripple effect to get him thinking of some different changes that need to occur in his life. So if you like this kind of stuff, my name is Michael Hicks. Thank you so much for being an avid listener. Please kindly give me a 5-star review. Send it to 5 of your friends like I just talked about. And this podcast and my whole coaching framework is about identity, purpose, and restoration and building your new self. So if you like this kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. And as always, my name is Michael Hicks. 1% better in mind, body, and soul. And always stay flexed. Take care, y'all.